Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Uh, my name is Wan Sadruddin Haziq bin Wan Saimi and my teammate Amrul Aiman bin Zakaria and Mama Afi Aiman bin Ya. Today we would like to discuss about our topic is satellite communication. Okay, we go to my subtopic is application of satellite communication. There are some of the application of satellite communication. First is digital audio broadcasting. Okay, digital audio broadcasting, also known as digital radio and high definition radio, is audio broadcasting in which analog audio is converted into a digital signal and transmit on an assigned channel in the AM or more usually FM frequency range. Okay, next is television broadcasting. Television broadcasting, form of broadcasting in which a television signal is transmitted by radio wave from a terrestrial earth-based transmitter of a television station to TV receiver having an antenna. Okay, this is the most widely used application in satellite communication. Next is weather satellite. Okay. The weather satellite is a type of satellite that is primarily used to monitor the weather and climate of the Earth. Satellites can be polar orbiting, covering the entire Earth, geostationary, hovering over the same spot on the equator. Okay, next is remote monitoring and control. Okay, remote monitoring is the process of supervising and controlling IT systems such as network devices, desktop servers, and mobile devices by means of locally installed agents that can be accessed by a management service provider. Okay, next is vehicle tracking. Okay, vehicle tracking is monitoring the location of a truck, car, or any moving vehicle using the GPS system, widely deployed to keep track of truck fleets. Vehicle tracking ensures that the vehicles are being used properly and that they can be recovered in the event they are stolen. Okay, next is mobile communication. Mobile communication is the use of the technology that allow us to communicate with others in different locations without the use of any physical connections, wires, or cables. Okay, a mobile phone, also called mobile cellular network, cell phone or handphone, is an example of mobile communication, or also known as wireless communication. Okay, next is maritime and navigation. Okay, this is the process of directing the movement of watercraft from one point to another. The process always present in some form when a vessel is underway and not drifting, varies with the type of craft, its missions, and its area of operation. Okay, next is video teleconferencing. Okay, video teleconferencing is voice only or audio video communication, while video conferencing supports the conference by providing both the video and voice so that you can absolutely see the person when you are listening to the communicator. Okay, next is defense communication. Okay, this is a Department of Defense long haul voice, data and record traffic system, which is includes the Defense Data Network, Defense Satellite Communication System, and Defense Switch Network, also called DCS. Okay, I think that's all from me. I will pass to my teammate, Amirul Aiman. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now we continue with advantages and disadvantages satellite system compared to terrestrial microwave system. Okay, advantages. First, it can access to wide geographical area through satellite transmission. Coverage over geographical area is quite large, mainly for sparsely populated areas. And next is high reliability, which is it is It also used in wide variety of applications, such as global mobile communication, private business networks, long-distance telephone transmission, weather forecasting, and radio TV signal broadcasting. Okay, and next is wide bandwidth, which is it covers a lot of area, wide area. Okay, and next is independent of terrestrial infrastructure, and then distance insensitive cost, which is over long distance it can be cheaper. Okay, and then rapid installation and low cost per added site, uh, like I told before, which is over long distance it can be cheaper. And then it also uh, the laying and the maintenance is easy and cheap in satellite communication, therefore it is very alternative. Okay, and then uniform service characteristics, and then uh, single provider which is service from one single provider is easy to obtain, and uniform service is available. Okay, which describe the uniform service characteristics also. Okay, and then next we move to disadvantages. Okay, the first point is high initial cost. High initial cost, which is for the uh, design, development, investment, and insurance of satellite requires higher cost, especially during the beginning of uh, beginning to start with satellite. Okay, and then it has propagation delay. Okay, propagation delay. We can talk that um, yeah, some circumstance like weather or sunspot affect the satellite signal, which can cause interference make proper operation of satellite very difficult, which is make a propagation delay. And regulatory licensing requirement and limited orbital parking slots, which is it requires to be monitored and controlled on regular periods, so that it remains on the orbit once it has been launched. Okay, that's all from me. We proceed with Afiq Aiman.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so my name is Muhammad Afiq Aiman bin Ya. So, my task is I get a question. So the question is, with the aid of geosynchronous orbit diagram, explain the main characteristic of this orbit in satellite communication. Okay, so basically the picture above, the picture in front is picture of the geosynchronous orbit diagram that I found on the internet. Okay, we will back to this picture later. Okay, so firstly, what is the characteristic of the geosynchronous orbit? So geosynchronous orbit is a high Earth orbit that allows the satellite to match Earth's rotation. Because the satellite orbits at the same speed that the Earth is turning, the satellite seems to stay in place over a single longitude, though it may drift north to south. Okay, so kalau kita tengok ni, kan satellite kan, duduk sempat dia gambar A dengan B dekat sama je, tapi kat sini je bergerak sedikit lah, sebab saya cakap tadi dia kemungkinan tergelincir ke kiri ke kanan macam tu lah. So sebab apa? Sebab satellite ni dia bergerak sama dengan bumi ni berputar. Okay. So satellite in geosynchronous orbit can see one spot of the planet almost all of time. This allows us to observe on how much a region change over a month or a years. Okay, so the question asks about the communication in the geosynchronous orbit. So because the satellite constantly hovering in one place, the communication are reliable as long as the satellite is well connected to the location you want to communicate with. Communication satellites are often placed in geostationary orbit so that Earth-based satellite antennas do not have to rotate to track them, but can be pointed permanently at the position in the sky where the satellite are located. So kalau nak lagi senang faham, contoh macam sebab apa dia berkait geosynchronous orbit ni berkait dengan communication. Sebab contoh kalau ada antena mesti kena, kalau kita nampak orang pasang mesti dipasang kat satu tempat, betul tak gerak ke mana kan. So kalau satellite tu bergerak, kita kena tukar lah dekat antena tu nak ikut sekali dengan satellite tu. So sebab apa dia guna dekat geosynchronous tu, sebab dia stay je kat satu tempat. So kita tak payahlah nak ubah setiap masa. Faham tak? Macam gitu lah maksud dia. Sebab tu lah orang guna orang banyak guna dalam communication ni dalam geostationary orbit, so geosynchronous orbit. Okay, so for my video, so basically when I search about the geosynchronous orbit video in the YouTube, there is no video, but there is a lot of video that compare between the geosynchronous and geostationary satellites. Okay.
Video is in response to a question asked by our viewer named Jia Gupta. The question was, what is the difference between geosynchronous and geostationary satellites and their applications? Before we go further, let us first understand what is geosynchronous and geostationary orbits. The word geosynchronous means something which is synchronized with Earth. So a satellite in geosynchronous orbit would make one complete rotation of Earth in exactly the same time as Earth completes one rotation around itself. That is 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds. A special case of geosynchronous orbit is geostationary orbit. This is a circular orbit at 35,786 km above Earth's equator. Like a geosynchronous orbit, a satellite in geostationary orbit would also complete one rotation around the Earth in one day, that is 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds. But the main difference is it also moves exactly at the same speed and direction as Earth. Just as two cars moving in same speed and direction appear to be stationary to each other, the satellite in geostationary orbit will also appear stationary to Earth, thus the name geostationary. To understand this difference better, let us take the following example. For a person standing on ground and watching the sky, a geosynchronous satellite would be at same position in sky, say point A, at exactly the same time of the day every day, say 12 pm. Thus at 12 pm of each day, the geosynchronous satellite would be at point A. For the same person watching a geostationary satellite, it would appear at same position, say point B, throughout the day, that is stationary to him. Thus any time of the day he looks at the sky, this geostationary satellite would always appear at point B. From the above difference, we can see that a satellite in geostationary orbit would be very easy to track from ground. That is, the antennas of the ground station can point to the same position in sky, that is point B in the previous example we saw, and need not change its position except for few minor adjustments. This makes the system much simpler. This is the reason why geostationary orbits are preferred orbits.
Okay. So for Hazik's video,
Movement defines our world. Billions of interconnecting journeys made every day, creating the most complex system on Earth. We want to travel further, faster and cheaper, to reach our destination safely and have goods delivered just in time from anywhere around the world. space is powering a new era of intelligent transport, helping us address the impacts of our lives in motion and allowing different technologies to work together, creating seamless connectivity and pinpoint positioning. That means we'll know when our bus will show up. Data from satellites and ground-based sensors will tell operators and passengers where buses are in real time, which is especially useful in rural areas where services are less frequent. On board, passengers will have access to news, traffic updates, weather and entertainment, beamed via satellite. 64% of journeys are still made by car, with the average commute time nearly an hour. UK commuters spend 1 year of their lives getting to and from work. This is a burden on people and the economy. A host of new technologies are coming into play, however, that will fundamentally change the experience of travelling. They are all connected by space. 15 years ago, global navigation satellite systems revolutionized how we find our way about. Today, new satellite constellations will provide positioning to sub-centimetre levels of precision, making navigation even more accurate, while sensors embedded in junctions, bridges and buildings will give motorists real-time information instantly updated. Vehicles will also communicate to each other, sharing everything from instant traffic updates to localized weather reports. These technologies will usher in a new era of autonomous vehicles that will take away the drudgery of commutes and long motorway hauls. In future, we'll be hands-free and able to sit back, work, or even take a nap. When we get to our destination, cars will park themselves in pre-booked spaces and automatically begin recharging. This isn't some distant science fiction future. By 2017, all new cars, lorries and motorbikes will be able to automatically alert emergency services in the event of an accident, cutting response times. Satellites play a vital role in providing top cover, ensuring the system works everywhere, every time. That also includes ensuring that police, fire and ambulance services can talk to each other and share data easily and securely. Even before we set off on a journey, space will be there, helping. We'll plan trips involving very different modes of transport, cars, trains, bicycles or walking, and see them as a single event, along with alternative routes and last-minute updates. Air travel will evolve too. Thanks to satellite communications, air traffic control will have far more accurate arrival times, so on-the-ground delays and congestion are greatly reduced. After takeoff, space data will help aircraft route around bad weather or take advantage of favourable tailwinds, shortening journey times and cutting fuel costs. And on board, Wi-Fi will be an unremarkable reality for all passengers, not just a perk in business class. The way we travel is changing, thanks to space. It's just one example of how we're innovating for a better world, empowered by satellites.
Okay. So that's all from me. That's all from us. Thank you.